Let's be clear, prostitution is a supply and a demand issue. And as long as the demand is there and there are little consequences to those purchasing sex, then it will continue. So my name is Helena Croft and I'm the founder and chief executive of Streetlight UK. Streetlight UK's main objectives are a frontline support service supporting women involved in prostitution. And so I feel very strongly from 25 years of working in this field and working with women, 9 out of 10 who tell me that if they had the chance they would want to leave prostitution, that this is not something that can be legitimised as a sort of normal type of work. And whilst I and all of us at Streetlight UK respect every woman's choice and every woman's right to choose to be involved in prostitution, my experience has shown me that normally there's something that's happened in a woman's life that causes her to want to be involved in prostitution. In my experience, it's a very small percentage of women that are earning large sums of money. The majority of women that we meet are selling sex for £5 or £10 to feed a drug habit, or earning very little money. And so the criminal justice system needs to understand the vulnerabilities far more, I believe, in terms of why women are selling sex. We use a phrase called survival sex, where women are involved in prostitution because they need to put a roof over their head, they need to put shoes on their children's feet, they need to feed themselves. And of course, when you're desperate, you'll do anything. Currently in the UK, it is not illegal for 2 consenting adults to buy and sell sex. But I use the analogy that wherever there is money exchange, there's a power balance. So there are certain laws around prostitution which make it illegal. So soliciting for sex, a woman standing on the street and looking for someone to purchase sex from her, that is illegal. It is also illegal for men to curb crawl or to solicit looking to buy sex. That's also illegal in a public place. More than one woman in a property is deemed a brothel, and managing a brothel or working in a brothel is also illegal. There's a lot of debate over whether prostitution should be fully decriminalised. Decriminalisation, in my view, as experienced in Amsterdam, shows that it really only empowers the buyer and it empowers the pimps. It doesn't really empower the women. The women are exploited more overall when prostitution is fully decriminalised. Is it the oldest profession in the world? No, we don't believe so. We don't believe it is legitimate work. How do we change that narrative? We change that narrative by shining a light on the realities of prostitution. If you look at the Nordic model, the Swedish model, when they first introduced the legislation to criminalise sex buying, I think it was something like 64 or 65% of the population were fairly indifferent towards prostitution as to whether it was right to criminalise sex buying or not. Once they had finished their campaign and they'd pushed the legislation through, now 20 years on, 65% or 67% of the population agree that prostitution is a form of violence against women. I would like to decriminalise the women so that the barriers to them are removed, such as getting a criminal record. That's a real barrier to them getting fresh work. But in terms of the law, I believe that it's right to shift the focus away from the women and onto those who are purchasing sex. Most men who purchase sex, the first time they purchase sex, it's with a relative or a close friend, a male relative or a close friend, which says that there is a culture of acceptability. Think about your own sisters, your own daughters, granddaughters, nieces. How would you feel if it was them? We often ask the men on our course, would you marry a woman in prostitution? And their answer often is, no, they wouldn't, which could be seen as really hypocritical, as they've just been out purchasing sex. And of course, none of us would like to think that one of our loved ones would be in that position where they are engaging in something that is at its core so harmful and so destructive.